church actually used to have a plaque on the wall, and it was said Wesleyan Methodist Church Chapel, 1907, I believe it was 07, it could have been 05, it was in that area, and that was when the church was built. And then we didn't take it over until 1954, I believe it was, and we met in various places from the first evangelistic campaign that they had here, which was in 1937, and eventually we ended up here. The Methodists didn't want to sell us this church because we were Adventists, and anyway, after a long time they found they couldn't sell it, and we bought it in the end for a lower price than what we offered them in the first place, so it was good. And anyway, I first came in through these doors, it was that door then, in 1959, so I've been here quite a long time. And I've seen a few changes in that time, but I want to impress upon you that this has always been an international church. We've had so many different countries represented here, and some of them are quite interesting. I'll begin by telling you who was here when I first came in. There were 6 nations represented. The first one was Germany. I need to remember Anna Clark, who was she had quite a Teutonic temperament, and she didn't get on with everybody because she upset them, but she was a nice lady in her own rights. And then, of course, GB was represented. The treasurer in those days was from South Africa, a lady from South Africa called Edna Smar. And the 2 interesting countries that were represented here were 2 that you wouldn't expect to find anybody here today, Jordan and Lebanon. The lady from Lebanon, she went back to Lebanon, Sister Poole. We were all brothers and sisters in those days. And the other fellow was from Jordan. He was a lovely young man, and his name was Wisdom Haddad, and he left us and went to Loma Linda to study medicine. And when he was there, he married a Canadian girl, but he was a very... Well, you'd think he was a sheik out there, you know, somebody of high status. Very nice man. And there was also a Mrs. Oman from Sweden, and in my life I've seen 2 people whose eyes actually shone with Christianity, with Christian love, and that was one of them. Mrs. Oman was a lovely lady, and her son actually ministered here at one time, Sven. Now since then, I've put down a few members that we had and bring them to your memory because lots of you know them. Do you remember we had a lady called Melanie from Austria? She used to come here, and she was a bit of breath air in the church because she was a lovely looking, pure looking girl. She was only in her 20s, I would think. And we also had an intern from Newbold called Ivo working for us for a long time, and he was from Estonia. The next one in order is from Poland. Of course, we got Bishak, who now worships at the plant. We have Thomas and Anna from Newbold. Then Portugal, I won't mention all the Portuguese because we have lots of them, haven't we? And Romania, Erica married Ransom, you remember, not long ago, and she represented Romania. Russia, we've had Tatiana here not long ago, and she's now living in Dublin and is expecting a baby. And we also had a Russian preacher here at one time. I think his name was Kulikov, correct me on that, something like that. They were 2 brothers, and they came from Transcaucasia, and which is now, I think it's Azerbaijan, Armenia and Georgia, that area. And the funny thing was that Sven Oman, who was minister at the time, he knew about the Transcaucasia bit, but he didn't get it right at the time. He said, we got a couple of transvestites here. Yeah, it was actually happening. He got the trans mixed up there. got Jenny and we got Thomas, who was born in Aberdeen. Jenny was born in Bathgate, so they're Scottish. So that's a bit of a cheap with Scotland there. And then from Serbia we had Rudy, of course, and a lot of you will remember Venus, who came to Spain. And she's living in Spain. She wasn't born there. I'll come to that later. From the West Indies, we had a fellow here from Grenada, who was quite good on the organ. Jamaica, too many to talk about. We also had a young lady from the Netherlands, Antilles, which is just above Guyana in South America.
We can't hear you.
Right, okay. I thought my voice was loud, too late for you. Right. And this lady from Liberia, Antilles, only a small group of islands there, Croatia and whatnot. And from North America we had, was it Sapphira, her name? Yeah, she's gone back to America now, hasn't she? Right, okay. And anyway, that was the European and the West Indies and North America. Now, Africa, we've obviously got a lot here now, but we had Mandy from Botswana. You remember Mandy, who was married to Ransom, and unfortunately we lost her. She died of cancer. And she was a lovely lady. I used to call her a sweet singer in Israel, because she had such a lovely voice. And when she sang with Ransom, the two of them in unison were brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I could have listened to them all day, and I'm not really musically minded. And then, of course, we got Ghana. I won't throw it on them. And we got Kenya, because Ken Diemo was here from Kenya. We had others besides. And then we had a gentleman from Liberia. Now, Liberia was in turmoil at the time, and he came over here literally in just the clothes he was wearing. And so, you know, our Good Samaritans got together and we equipped him with at least a new set of clothes. And he went back to Liberia. We don't know what came from there. Malawi, we had Gloria and Stanley, who were both doctors. They moved up north now, Durham, Darlington Way, somewhere. And then we had Rwanda. This was after the ethnic cleansing over there. And we had Eric from, he was at the Western Supermare Church. I believe he went to Coventry, I'm not sure about that one. And he was a nice young fellow. The Gambia was represented again by Venus, who is now living in Spain, but she comes over occasionally. And Togo, I know this is Roland's territory. He was born in Togo. And do you remember we were praying for a pastor not long ago who was imprisoned in Togo for 22 months? Well, I don't know if you read the Adventist World recently, but that pastor was released after 22 months. And he met the General Conference President, Ted Wilson. And there is a picture of him in the Adventist World, which is quite interesting. And then, of course, we've had Zambia and Zimbabwe. I won't dwell on them. Now, from the Indian Ocean, we had a lovely wife and her husband there. He was a pastor in Mauritius. And the vine is that's smiling there because we grew very attached to these two people. They were lovely people. And they went back eventually to Mauritius. And I know my daughter Beverly, she cried when she heard that the pastor had died. Yeah, but he was an old man, you know, it wasn't as though he was a youngster. And then from Asia, we got Peter Usudian from India, and we got many from the Philippines, and Malaysia, Lidio and Pam. I don't know what states they come from, because there's 13 federated states in Malaysia. There's Johor, Kedah, Kalimantan, Malacca, Negri Sembilan, Pahang, Penang, Perak, Perlis, Selangor, Sabah, Sarawak, and Trengganu. That's the 13. So it's not you pathfinders that can memorize things. And anyway, that's all as far as members are concerned. I went through the visitors book and I found that there were 28 different nations actually mentioned in that visitors book, which goes back a bit. It goes back into the 1990s. And anyway, from countries other than what I've said about today, there was one there from Azores, and he didn't come from the San Miguel, which is the biggest of the three islands. He came from one of the smallest, Terceira, because he put Terceira in there. I thought that was interesting. There's 4 islands make up the Azores. And then we've got Denmark in there, we've got Finland, we've got France, Greece, Iceland, Netherlands, Norway. And from Africa we got Burkina Faso, because some friends of our present pastor who used to minister in Burkina Faso, they came over here. And then do you remember Virginia, Nigeria, who came over here 3 times? She was studying over here, and I know she was surprised when she came the second time, which was a year after the first time, that I handed her a tie bundle. I remember her face, she said, and I gave her a tie bundle. But one interesting thing about her, I noticed being treasurer in the offering when she was here, there was a 1,000-shilling note from Tanzania in there, which I had to take to to Marks and Spencer's, to the place there, to change it. And I was curious to know how much it was worth, but it was £7 on it. When you're talking in thousands, you think you're rich. But that was shillings, Tanzanian shillings. Now, where have we got to? Oh yes, there's 2 very interesting mentions in the visitors book. One is a lady from China, Beijing. That's the 1st of June 1991 she was here. And there's another one from Korea South. There's 2 people there on the 5th of December 1992. So we're getting them from far and wide, aren't we? We're very, very international.
Amen.
West Indies, Costa Rica. You remember some of you remember Sister MacDonald. She's now living in America, and they have friends in Costa Rica who came over to see them, and so we got Costa Rica on board. And then we've had St. Lucia, Australasia, we've had New Zealand, North America, Canada, and I put Newfoundland down. I know it's part of Canada, but it is an island, and it's a little bit different. And then that's the ones that's in the visitors book. Other visitors that I remember, we've had Croatia, because Rudy had a friend called Croatia. If you remember, the Croats and the Serbs were at each other's throats, weren't they, at one time, with the ethnic cleansing over there. But he was a good friend of Rudy, and he came here and preached. And from Asia, I remember Mo from Fiji, and also Joe's father, he also comes from Fiji, and his name's Lawrence, or Lorima. We also have a lady coming here occasionally named Rita, and she came from Goa. I know it's really India, but it used to be Portuguese India, so I thought that was a bit different. And we've also had visitors from, believe it or not, Tonga, the Friendly Islands, Queen Saloti, and all the rest of it. And they were from far from place of habitation. We've also had Australia. We have the Trevinas over here, and then Trevina was from Australia. The husband, the father, Ian, preached, and his son, Mel, preached over here. So we've had Australia, New Zealand. And then perhaps the rarest of the lot, Tristan da Cunha. About that, we had a family from Tristan da Cunha here. The history of Tristan da Cunha is interesting. It's dominated by a volcano, and in 1961 the volcano erupted, and the people were all transferred to Britain. But they found life very, very different in Britain, and as soon as they could go back, they all went back, But this family, they decided to visit people that they made friends with over here. the population of Tristan da Cunha, I don't know what it is now, but in the 1970s it was only about 292. And there's 3 islands. There's Ascension at the top, St. Helena in the middle, and Tristan da Cunha down beneath. And it's just south of the Cape of South Africa, to the west of it, you know. And interesting little place. And from the West Indies, we got Bermuda, where we used to have a Marcy, and she married a Swindonian called Martin. We're still in touch with them. And then I was talking to a lady not long ago. She came here, and she was the first one I'd known from Dominica. And then St. Vincent, of course, is represented, and Trinidad and Tobago is still represented here. Altogether, I've got 54 countries on this list, but I did have Oh yes, Iona. She comes here occasionally. She's advisor.
Now you still remember all these faces and what they were doing here. David, you got a big memory there. That's good. What is that to David?
Just saying, we have Iona who comes over here. She's at devices, and she's from Belize. And I did have a list of names because I was quite interested in different countries. It came to 75, but I've lost it. But we got to 54.
Thank you, David. So this church has always been